Hello everyone, you're watching the Indian Investors Forum. This channel is all about making Indian investments, the avenues available for Indian investors to make investments, and all the asset classes available to the Indian investors. Well, in today's video, we are going to be discussing why should one invest their hard-earned money into different asset classes and why the need to invest for a stable future. So in the last video, we discussed the different asset classes available to the Indian investors. But I will say it again for people who missed the last video. The different asset classes available to Indian investors are as follows: real estate, bullion, fixed income, equities, currencies, and commodities. So first, let's start with the definition of investments. The definition of investments as per Wikipedia is as follows: investment is time, energy, or matter spent in the hope of future benefits realized within a specified date or time frame. In finance, investment is buying or creating an asset with the expectation of capital appreciation, dividends, earning profit, interest, rents, or some combination of these returns. This may or may not be backed by research and analysis. Most or all forms of investment involve some form of risk, such as investment in equities, property, and even fixed income securities, which are subject, among other things, to inflation risk. So it is indispensable for investors or investment managers to identify and manage the risk related to the investment. Getting a college degree which can provide you with a stable income and a safe future, or taking care of your health and maintaining a good health so medical expenses at old age are low and kept at bare minimum, can also be defined as investments, though they are not financial investments in nature, but they are investments nonetheless. So here at Indian Investors Forum, we are going to be discussing financial investments. The most important thing to keep in mind is investments should be made keeping in mind the rate of inflation, the risk involved, and the time frame of those investments. These all parameters are very important when choosing which asset class the investor should invest in. For example, an investor who is just about to retire should not invest in equities as they are volatile and tend to be risky. And if proper risk management techniques are not followed, can result in significant capital loss. For such investors, fixed income or rental income from real estate holdings is a much safer and smarter choice as they are not volatile and relatively quite safe. These investors can also have exposure to equities, but we would not recommend them to allocate higher than 10% of their total portfolio to equities. While on the other hand, a investor who is just entering the workforce can have a higher risk appetite. So equities is the best option for that investor, as investing in fixed income will make him lose out in the long run because of high inflation, and young investors would not have a large capital to invest in real estate, as an investment in equities can also be done through small monthly SIPs, that is systematic investment plans, by investing in some mutual fund or buying the shares directly in small quantity through an equity broker. And for investors who are in their mid 30s to 40s, should have a diversified portfolio with more allocation towards equity and a little bit of everything else. Now let's discuss the advantages and disadvantages of different asset classes. Let's start with the advantages of real estate. Advantage number 1: diversification. Real estate helps you diversify your portfolio in terms of asset allocation. Real estate returns are less correlated with other asset classes like stocks and bonds. Advantage number 2: yield enhancement. As a part of a portfolio, real estate allows you to achieve higher returns for a given level of portfolio risk. That is, by having real estate in your portfolio, you could maintain your portfolio returns while decreasing risk. Advantage number 3: inflation hedge. Real estate returns are directly linked to the rentals that are received from tenants. Rentals increase whenever a lease term is expired or renewed, and real estate rentals increase faster in inflationary environments as the cost of living is also going up, and allowing the owner of the property to maintain its real returns. Real estate is also a tangible asset which increases in value during inflationary times. Advantage number 4: tax benefit. There is a tax benefit for first home buyers for interest payments made if the house is bought on a home loan. Now let's talk about the disadvantages of real estate. Disadvantage number 1: costly to buy and maintain. Real estate is very expensive to buy and transaction costs are significant compared to other asset classes. So real estate is mostly unaffordable for most of the investors as entry barriers are very high. But real estate is also costly to operate and maintain as it is a tangible asset and has ongoing high maintenance cost. Disadvantage number 2: ongoing management. Real estate has ongoing management costs from day-to-day level to long-term management of the property, which can also be clubbed in maintenance cost and reduce the investment returns in the long run. Disadvantage number 3: cyclical and illiquid market. Real estate market is cyclical in terms of rental and resale of the property, as supply and demand scenario affects the rental and resale markets. And for resale market, real estate is very illiquid as to find a buyer could take months or even a couple of years in current market environment. Disadvantage number 4: no benchmark. There is no benchmark to measure the performance of the returns from real estate like there is in equities. Now let's talk about the advantages and disadvantages of equity investing. Let's start with the advantages of equity investing. Advantage number 1: dividend. An investor is entitled to receive dividend from the company. It is one of the two main sources of return on his investment. Advantage number 2: capital gains. The other source of return on investment apart from dividend is the capital gains. Gains which arise due to the rise in market price of the share. Capital gains for investment over 1 year are tax free, and for capital gains arising out of investment less than a year are taxed at 15% flat rate. No asset class in India enjoys this tax benefit. Advantage number 3: liability of shareholder or investor is limited to the extent of the investment made. If the company goes into losses, share of loss over and above the capital investment would not be borne by the investor. Advantage number 4: exercise control. By investing in the company, the shareholder gets ownership in the company and thereby he can exercise control. In official terms, he gets voting rights in the company. Advantage number 5: claim over assets and income. An investor of equity share is the owner of the company and so is the owner of the assets of that company. He enjoys share in the incomes of the company. He will receive some part of that income in cash in the form of dividend, and remaining capital is reinvested in the company. Advantage number 6: rights shares. When companies require further capital for expansion and other business needs, they tend to issue rights shares. By issuing such shares, ownership and control of existing shareholders is preserved and the investor receives investment priority over other general investors. Advantage number 7: bonus shares. At times, companies issue bonus shares to its shareholders. It is also a type of dividend. Bonus shares are free shares given to existing shareholders and many a times they are given in lieu of dividends. Advantage number 8: liquidity. The shares of the company which are listed on stock exchanges have benefit of any time liquidity. The shares can be very easily transfer ownership. Advantage number 9: stock split. Stock split means splitting shares into parts. Now you would think, how does this benefit the investor? By splitting of share, the per share price reduces in the market, which eventually increases the tradability of those shares. At the end, stock split results in higher volumes with more number of investors, leading to higher liquidity of the shares and in some cases even leading to higher share prices. Now let's talk about the disadvantages of equities. Disadvantage number 1: dividend. The dividend which a shareholder receives is neither fixed nor controllable by him. The management of the company decides how much dividend should be given. Disadvantage number 2: high risk investments. Equity share investment is a risky investment compared to any other investment like fixed income, etc. The money is invested based on the faith an investor has in the company. There is no collateral security attached with it. Disadvantage number 3: fluctuation in market price. The market price of any equity share has a wide variation. It is always very difficult to book profits at the top of the market. On the contrary, there are equal chances of losses. Disadvantage number 4, limited control. An equity investor is a small investor of the company, therefore it is hardly possible to impact decision of the company using the voting rights. Disadvantage number 5, residual claim. An equity shareholder has a residual claim over both the assets and the income of the company. Income which is available to equity shareholders is after the payment of all other stakeholders like debtors of the company, etc. Now let's talk about the advantages and disadvantages of fixed income investing. Advantages of fixed deposits. Advantage number 1, safety. The fixed deposits of reputed banks and financial institutions are regulated by the Reserve Bank of India, the banking regulator in India. So they are very secure and considered as one of the safest investment methods. There are also fixed deposits of companies which give a higher return but also carry a higher risk. Advantage number 2, regular income. Fixed deposits earn fixed interest rate for their entire tenure, which is usually compounded quarterly. So those who want an income on a regular basis can invest into fixed deposits and use the interest rate as their income. This makes a fixed deposit very popular way of investing money for retired people. Advantage number 3, high liquidity. Fixed deposits from banks are highly liquid and can be liquidated by paying a small premature withdrawal fee. Some banks also have the option of no premature withdrawal fee, which the investor should check with their respective banks when investing in fixed deposits. Advantage number 4, saves taxes. With the directive of the Income Tax Department stating that the investment in fixed deposits up to a maximum of 1,50,000 for 5 years are eligible for tax deductions under Section 80C of Income Tax Act. Fixed deposits have again become popular because of this act. Fixed deposits save tax and give high returns on invested money only for people who are in the lower tax bracket. Now let's talk about the disadvantages of fixed deposits. Disadvantage number 1, low rate of returns. Biggest disadvantage of investing money in fixed deposit is that its returns are low, and if the inflation is very high, fixed deposit investors are the worst hit, as the return from fixed deposit may not be sufficient to cover the high expenses due to inflation. The actual benefits or income from fixed deposit can be eaten away by a rising inflation. Suppose the inflation, which is currently at 3%, rises to about 6%. Your fixed deposit at 10% annual rate will effectively yield only 4% real rate. That is 10% annual return minus the 6% of inflation, which equals to 4% of real effective return on your investment. This return would have been 7% if the rate of inflation had not changed. This can drastically eat into your fixed deposit income. Disadvantage number 2, taxes. Interest earned on fixed deposit is fully taxable and is added to the annual income of the individual. Gains from stock are considered capital gains while dividends are tax-free. Disadvantage number 3, non-diverse portfolio. If an investor invests their entire capital in fixed deposits, then they may not enjoy the benefits of diversification which one get if they invest their money in stock markets, real estate, gold, silver, and other alternate investment classes. Now let's talk about the advantages and disadvantages of commodity investing. Commodity is an opposite version of a service. In a business environment, two forces dominate the index of commerce, and they are product and services. Commodity happens to belong to the product genre, and unlike traditional products like consumer products, it has what economists call inelastic demand, which means no matter the condition of the market, there will always be a demand for it. For example, precious metals, crude oil, industrial metals, etc. Commodity markets are a place where commodities are sold to willing consumers, and like the regular market conditions, it is determined by the forces of demand and supply operated under regulated commodity exchanges. It consists of direct and derivatives trading. Commodities are any natural source that is sold and traded. This covers products including oil, gold, and even turmeric powder. There are few ways to invest in commodities. One way is to buy the actual goods. This works well with smaller items like gold and silver, but is not practical with other commodities like crude oil or industrial metals. You don't want to store hundreds of oil barrels in your home. You can also buy stocks in companies that work in commodity industry like oil or mining companies. However, like all other human inventions, commodity markets have its own advantages and disadvantages, which are as follows. Let's start with the advantages of commodities. Advantage number one, high returns. Commodities are considered risky investments. This means they have big swings in prices on a daily basis. Commodity companies tend to either hit it big on a resource discovery or they get hit with a big loss. This creates the chance for very high returns in the commodity market provided you time your investments right. This high risk is the reason why you should balance your commodity investments with safer assets. However, if your research is good and your stock picks work out, your commodity returns will be some of the highest in your portfolio. Advantage number two, diversification. Another advantage commodity offers is added diversification. Diversification is when you invest across a wide range of industries that react differently to changes in the market. This keeps your annual returns steady and avoids big losses. For example, investing in both oil and car companies protects you against losses from rising oil prices. In this case, the share of oil companies will go up in value, while the shares of car companies will go down in value. Advantage number three, inflation hedge. Inflation is bad news for regular investments. It has been observed that during high inflationary times, commodities give very good returns as the currency is traded in is falling in value. So it will take more of the same currency to buy the same amount of that particular commodity. Now let's talk about the disadvantages and advantage. Now let's talk about the disadvantages of commodity investing. Number one, lack of information. This is one of the biggest disadvantages of commodity investing. An uninformed businessman is like a farmer that goes to farm without basic farming tools and experiences the consequence, that is failure. The world of commodity trading is very fast, filled with rickety bumps all the way. So there are faceless opportunists waiting to ride on one's intelligence and foolishness. Disadvantage number two, storage and transportation cost. Storage and transportation costs are another major disadvantage to invest in commodities as they need storage place and they need to be transported from the seller's location to the buyer's location, which can have significant cost and reduce the returns realized because of these costs. So it becomes unviable for small investors to directly deal in commodity markets, and only option left for them is to take exposure is through derivatives trading, which in turn carries very high risk and the investor can lose all of their invested capital. Disadvantage number three, perishable commodities. Agricultural based commodities have a shelf life and are perishable. For example, pulses, wheat, corn, pepper, turmeric, sugar, potato, so on and so forth. The best way to have exposure to commodities is to buy the stocks of the companies which deal in this particular commodities. For example, a oil exploration company, a mining company, a agro-based company, and so on and so forth. Now let's talk about the advantages and disadvantages of bullion investing. Bullion investing is nothing but investing in precious metals like gold, silver, platinum, palladium, rhodium, osmium, etc. For this video, we will be mainly focusing on gold, silver and platinum as they are the most commonly bought precious metals for investment. We at Indian Investors Forum only recommend to invest in precious metals by taking physical delivery of those precious metals, to avoid counterparty risk and to hold those precious metals in your personal possession. We don't advise to invest in gold ETFs and gold accounts as their gold holdings are difficult to verify for small investors and there can be counterparty risk involved by investing in them. Now let's talk about advantages of bullion investing. Advantage number one, easy to buy. Precious metals can be easily acquired in coins and bar form from any local jeweler and banks, hence can be easily stored and transported across borders in uncertain times. Advantage number two, precious metals can potentially be used as money in small form, that is 1 gram, 5 gram or 10 gram of gold or silver coins. Advantage number three, great demand. Precious metal has great investor demand globally, so ensures high liquidity around the world. Advantage number 4, inflation hedge, has been seen as store of value for thousands of years, as gold and silver coins were used as money by many great empires like Roman Empire, the Mauryan Empire, the Mughal empires, and many more empires as well in history, going back about 5,000 to 7,000 years or even before that. Precious metals will always protect the investor's wealth across long periods of time from inflation. Advantage number 5, insurance against central banking. Precious metal is an insurance policy against modern day central banking policies, as gold standards by central bank globally is no longer followed. As we all are aware that since the financial crisis of 2008, all major central banks globally have engaged in currency wars by devaluing their respective currencies to make their economies more competitive in the global markets. These policies lead to inflation in their respective economies, and which in turn leads investors to invest in precious metals to protect the purchasing power of the capital they are holding. As recently said by Mr. Alan Greenspan in October of 2014, Mr. Greenspan is the most respected central banker of his times. That's what he said. Quote, gold is the most premium currency which no fiat currency can match. End quote. He has said a lot of things about gold standard also. For interested viewers, they can also read his views in his book The Age of Turbulence Adventures in a New World. Advantage number 6, geopolitics. Precious metals do very well when there are wars going on and there is geopolitical instability. For that matter, most of the commodities do well in these uncertain times. At least commodities which are non perishable and have a long shelf life outperform all asset classes during these volatile times. Advantage number 7, diversification. Precious metal investing provides very good diversification for investors because of its special investment characteristics which no asset class can match, except some hard commodities like crude oil, industrial metals like copper, zinc, nickel, etc., and some agricultural commodities like wheat, rice, corn, etc., which have a long shelf life if stored correctly. Now let's talk about the disadvantages of bullion investing. Yes, bullion investing does have disadvantages as well. Disadvantage number 1, high transaction cost. Sellers charge a premium over the spot price of the precious metals. The premium can be about 3 to 5% over the spot market price and can be even high as 7 to 10% in some cases. Disadvantage number 2, high spreads. Buy and sell spreads does not favor the retail investor as they are very high and can reduce your investment returns significantly. Disadvantage number 3, non-yielding assets. Precious metals do not have a yield like other investments. The only investment returns that an investor can take home is from price appreciation. Disadvantage number 4, maintenance cost. Precious metals do have storage costs if you are holding the metal in your bank locker or a private locker, as holding them in your home can be risky as they are prone to theft, and in case of natural disasters like floods or earthquake they can be lost completely and never be recovered. Disadvantage number 5, government confiscation. Precious metals in history have been confiscated by government in times of war, economic uncertainty, or just a way to make it unattractive for investors. It has been done in the past in many countries and can be done in future as well. So this is a very important point to keep in mind when investing in precious metals. Disadvantage number 6, jewelry. Investors consider jewelry as a form of investment in precious metals. This is one of the biggest mistakes an investor makes when investing in precious metals, that they consider that buying jewelry is a form of investing in precious metals and stones. We at Indian Investors Forum think the other way around. Buying jewelry is the worst investment any investor can make. There are many reasons to support this, and this topic is very big, for which we can have a separate video altogether. But in this video I will highlight some of them. When buying jewelry, the buyer is subject to making charges which can be anywhere in the range of 8 to 10% or even higher in some cases. There is still lack of transparency regarding the purity of the precious metals used for making the jewelry, For example, a 22 carat gold jewelry most of the times is 18 carat gold jewelry if bought from some local jeweler, and retail investors have very little tools to evaluate the purity of the precious metals used in making the jewelry. And someday, if you need some financial liquidity and when you go to sell your jewelry, you again have to pay breaking charges, which can again be in the range of 8 to 10%, and the purity of your gold is also reduced heavily. So overall, in the entire transaction, the investor loses out about 20 to 25% of the invested value, which is a very bad investment in any terms. Now let's talk about currency investing. Well, the currency market in India is still not very mature, as the Indian rupee is not fully convertible, and the only way to have a exposure to currency investing is through currency derivatives, which may not suit all the investors investment style, as they are highly leveraged and there is a high manipulation by big corporate banks and the Reserve Bank of India to keep the currency stable. And derivatives can give you huge profits but can also give you huge losses to the investor if proper risk management techniques are not followed. The other alternate type of investments are insurance products and fine arts. Well, nowadays insurance products are being advertised as investment products. We have a different view about that. We think insurance and investment should be handled differently, and an investor should not expect returns from the insurance policy and should only look at them as a way to ensure safety for their family and loved ones after their demise. Hence, we will not be covering them in this video, but we will definitely make a video on insurance products in the future. Fine arts is an asset class for the super rich and can give significant returns if understood correctly. But there is a lack of transparency and understanding among the retail investor for this particular asset class. Those viewers interested in reading about arts can read the following book by Melanie Gurlis, Art as an Investment. So everyone, these are my detailed views about investment in different asset classes. As an investor, you should follow the thumb rule of portfolio diversification across different asset classes to shield you from any shocks and sudden price fall in any asset class, and to achieve consistent higher returns that beat inflation over a longer period of time and preserve the purchasing power of your capital and hard earned money. As and it is very important to invest your money in different asset classes, as money lying in your bank account is not helping you grow your wealth in any way, and only person who benefits with the money in your bank account is your banker and no one else. So younger you start investing, the better for you and your family to achieve your financial goals in life. Here at Indian Investors Forum, we are going to help you make the right choices for your investment. When you should invest in equities, real estate, bullion, fixed income, currencies, commodities, so on and so forth, and when you should rotate your investments in different asset classes, because investments is all about timing them correctly to get the best returns out of your portfolio. So please post your comments and queries below for future discussions. Also, please hit the like button and subscribe to my channel so you don't miss out on any of the future videos. And share this video with your friends and family so you can help them make the right investment choices in their life. Thank you for watching this video and see you soon. Goodbye, take care and happy investing.